Hi, guys. Good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. I greatly appreciate them. This is the daily forecast for Tuesday, the 23rd of November. It is a timeless reading in the sense that you can use it whenever you see it. But I do also build upon the weekly and the readings previous to it. If it makes sense for you on another time when you're seeing it, feel free to use it. For those of you that watch regularly, you know how I work. For those of you that are new, or if there's anybody out there watching for the first time, please check out the drop down menu. In there is information I want you to know about when utilizing my readings, what decks I use, and how to contact me or follow me on social media if you're interested in a private reading. Please hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Also, let your friends know about the channel, sharing the video out. If anything strikes you as interesting, profound, whatever, please let me know in the questions or comments. I always read them, and sometimes we'll respond if there's something I can answer. All right, so let's get into this and see what we've got going on here. 10 of Wands. Beautiful card. This is the card of like almost being there, right? Almost being like kind of, it's normally depicted with a gentleman carrying a bunch of wands on his back. He has a big bundle of sticks or wands, and he's working his way towards a house, and he's bent over, hunched over, and he's carrying it. And this one here to me, it's an interesting depiction, right? With the chandelier hanging above her. She's tired, right? We've reached the end of our road, or maybe we are a little bit done, especially with yesterday's. Remember, we have that Five of Swords, that Five of Cups. Tens indicate endings, right? Or endings of chapters for everybody involved. Wands, it represents the spirit. We might feel spiritually taxed. We might feel spiritually tired. We could be sort of ending up a situation in our life of some sort. But I get this particular card, I have to say, gives me a little bit of sadness, right? It feels like if she lets go of her burden, it could all come crashing down. And there's a fear of that for her. But it just might be the very thing that she lets go of that is the thing that frees her, right? And so there's this fine line of risk versus reward going on in this card that I don't necessarily associate with the Ten of Wands always. Ten of Wands usually indicates like kind of being at the end of the road, a job. I sort of see it as kind of like a job well done. Or just hang in there kind of card. This has a little bit more of a intense vibe to it. Like the plan feels a little bit more intricate or involved, the way that rope is wrapped around that wooden hanging thing, that big wooden piece, right? It's a beautiful card nonetheless. But what I feel like it wants us to connect to, being the number 10, associates down to the number 1, which is the focus on the self, right? And so I think about how it may want us to look about where our responsibilities are. How do we feel about those responsibilities? Where do we feel obligated in our life, and how do we feel about those obligations, right? These would be questions that we would be maybe contemplating during this day, during this, 10 of Wands sort of experience. Is there anything that we need to maybe let go of that we're reluctant to let go of for fear of things being different or changing in ways that might be unexpected to us or unknown to us, and that scares us, right? That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from this card. So if we're challenged by things like that, if we're challenged by responsibilities or obligations that we have that we're sort of unsure if we let them go or rearrange them, would they stay the same, or would we be looked at in a different way, or would we be seen differently, either by ourselves or others? Today is a good day to kind of contemplate that and look at that and maybe lighten one's load, right? Let the burden, not necessarily, I mean, if you can, certainly let it go. I think that's part of it. But there's also this aspect to the Ten of Wands that it's like, don't let go just yet. You're almost there, right? The job is almost finished. So I don't want to let go of that part of the Ten of Wands either, even though this woman looks like she's pretty much done, right, in this card. Um, she looks sort of like tied to her responsibility in a way that she doesn't want to be anymore. And so that might be something that you want to reflect upon or sort of sit with today and look at and then maybe make decisions around. Here is the card, the Urban Crow Oracle. It's that card Insight, which I love this card. It's about thinking outside of the box. The crow being so intelligent, he drops rocks into this jar of water to get the shrimp to rise to the top so that he can eat. And that's similar to the observation card from this week, right? Insight is sort of looking inward, right? And sort of figuring out from a different perspective, maybe, or from a clearer perspective, a way to solve our solution, right? The Ten of Wands would indicate maybe that solution is within our spirit, right? Trusting them like our innermost voice and looking at where things stand right now and how they are feeling to us, or how they're, are we, how are we associating sort of in a way to our responsibilities would be the question that I feel like is being asked today. And then after looking at that, how can we rearrange that association or that responsibility or that obligation in a way that works better for us or eases for us? There is a way. The Crow with Insight shows me that there is a way through like careful maybe inspection, and remember that card for the week is observation, looking at situations from outside of the box and finding new ways to approach maybe old familiar responsibilities is going to be the answer for us that might lead us to a different definition of how we interact with, the things that maybe weigh heavy on our soul. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. All right, let's go to the grounding stone. And the grounding stones are interesting. The grounding stone today, we should ground in the idea of freedom. Wow. Profound. Why did I use the word profound twice this morning? I don't know. To me, the Ten of Wands is about that sort of like not letting go 5 minutes before the miracle happens, but there is also this idea that I get from this Ten of Wands as I'm looking at this, that there is a freedom that needs to take place within us or within our spirits. Is there something that we feel tethered to? I mean, there's certainly stuff in my life where I feel as though I'm tethered to things in ways that I don't necessarily know that it always matches up with how I would like it to be, right? And so I'm definitely getting that vibe from this woman that, through the intricacies of how she set things up or how things have come together, she is now in a position where she has to make a decision, right? Do I continue to carry on, or do I continue, to carry this weight? Or do I let it go altogether? And if she lets it go altogether, there's this threat of it all coming crashing down. Like that's that chandelier above her. But is that such a bad thing, right? Because I look at that grounding stone of freedom. And ultimately, I'm not saying you should do any one thing, right? I'm not here to make decisions for you, but I am here to help you sort of look at what sort of energies are out there. There's something that we can look at from a different perspective, or with a little bit more insight, with an out of the box thinking, with a new way of approach that could shift whatever is this burden and create a little bit more freedom in our space. Does that make sense? And that's what we want to ground in, is that idea of freedom, of feeling lighter, of feeling brighter, of feeling more optimistic towards whatever it is that we have to interact with on a regular basis, or whatever responsibility we have to carry within our life. Does that make sense? I hope that that does. That is your reading for today. Remember, too, we have that Five of Swords underneath here, too. So we might feel as though it's better to not communicate this at this time. So just work within ourselves and we'll see where this all ends up. That is your forecast. Please give it a thumbs up button and leave a question or comment. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful day and take care. Bye bye.